can we say you're also shaping the future of cryptos? I just want to learn if there was no limits, how would you proceed on this? And that sounds amazing. Thank you for having some time for this interview. First of all, we would like to thank you so much for this amazing event. Binance is always number one for us. And again, the Clubhouse, BBV, and all sorts of events, we're more than happy to come all the time. And we're also, we will. Actually, one of the questions is about what are the next events. I want to take a sneak peek.
Okay.
Today, I mean, we'd like to also have some fun questions because your energy is also amazing. Your vision, I would like to get some ideas about it. And I guess I would like to start off with a question that as CMO, if you had an unlimited marketing budget, I think it's a fun one. What would be the craziest campaign you would do for Binance?
The craziest campaign?
Yeah, but you have unlimited budget. You can do anything.
I would do a $10 billion giveaway.
$10 billion giveaway.
Of Bitcoin.
Of Bitcoin, wow.
Or BNB. And I say that because I think that in order to get the next generation of users into this space and to truly grow to where we need to get to, we need to put crypto in the hands of more people.
Yes, that's
and get them using it and get them understanding whether they want to trade with it, whether they want to hodl and save, or whether they want to invest in different projects, or whether they want to use it to send to a family member, in another country. So just to show the use cases. So maybe $1 billion. I won't be too greedy, but genuinely, I think if we could put $10 equivalent value of BNB in everyone's hands, then we would be able to really show them, okay, we've given this to you now.
And that would bring
this is how we're going to educate you. And I think that's how we would get this to be sticky and get to do
So not 10 billion, but $1 billion.
Billion.
I guess that's still too much.
I'll compromise. I'll compromise. I did ask before for that, whether I could do it, and everyone just kind of went silent, and I didn't. But I do think, and the point I'm trying to make, and I'm not trying to make a joke of that, is I just think we need to try and encourage more users to engage. And I think if we could give them something that's free and of value to them.
Yes, for sure.
And money is a value to everyone around the world. So crypto with that equivalent value is.
I think a lot of people would be just fished into crypto too. And where would you do this event? Where would you would you close up a stadium or,
I would do it as a global event, like digital online event.
Online event?
Yeah, that we could, stream online from somewhere fabulous, that we could announce this. Yeah, I think it's playful and it's fun and it's a utopia. But I think, this is all part of that vision of getting to that billion users, which is where we hit mainstream penetration, where we have, 1 in 7 people in the world engaging with our space.
And that would be 1 in 7 people, yeah. That would be something a lot.
Exactly.
Because we really, respect your vision, and you're such a visionary, you have a great energy. So we just want to learn if there was no limits, how would you proceed on this? And that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think there'd be so much work after it, because the announcer would create lots of noise and lots of traffic.
Right,
but
sure.
The real work would begin
everyone.
And that's where you'd have to go to work, educating people.
Yeah, for sure.
on what to do with it.
But I would do that with love, for sure.
I think it would be fun, and it would show the value, and it would also show the spectrum of use cases, and how this is relevant to every country, every individual. It's not just for a limited group.
It's for everyone, and Bitcoin is for everyone.
Exactly.
Isn't it? That's the whole idea.
Exactly.
Well, the next question is about, of course, the community. The Binance community is known as one of the most active, actually, the most active, and the loyal one globally. How do you evaluate this strong connection as a CMO?
Yeah, look, our community is unparalleled, not just in the crypto industry, but in the broader global landscape.
Right, of course.
I've spoken about this before, but I liken our community to the most passionate sports fans that you could see.
Such as
football or Formula One, and it's amazing because it's a global community, but it's driven by grassroots local efforts. And I think that it's incredible, and through the challenging times that our industry and us as Binance had over the course of the last few years, our community stood by us and continue to educate us and give us insights
Feedback
and help us learn on, not what we just needed to do as a corporation, but what we needed to do with products and services, what we need to do with CS. I get so many great ideas, not from my marketing team, although they are brilliant.
It's also from your investors, from
the community. Yeah, every single one of our users has valuable insight that helps make us better. And I think that is what is one of the unique and competitive advantages that Binance has that we respect and take so seriously.
And you have a lot of corporates, you have retails, and from also what we see, you always really care about the feedbacks and you grow on it. I mean, of course, crypto, the whole global economy had some challenging times, but as we see, crypto and finance are staying really strong on all of these issues.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong, while there was lots of headwinds and lots of challenges, there was still such incredible growth through those periods. I think we were all in the privileged position of having like a front row seat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think what's happened over the last 12 months and the regulatory clarity, not just from the US, but how that's informing and cascading to other markets that we're seeing now understand the value and the role the crypto and blockchain could play in their ecosystems moving forward is extraordinary. You then layer that. We're a retail business through and through. That is our core. That will never change. But with institutional spotlight and with the institutional legitimization from the ETF approvals to corporations that have been trusted for hundreds of years.
180 degrees.
Exactly. Goldman Sachs, the flip 18 months saying we'll never engage in Bitcoin as a reserve or as an asset, and now we find out.
JP Morgan did the same thing.
JP Morgan's commitment, BlackRock, Blackstone, and some of the leading lights around the world making that commitment. I think that's then given that next generation of users and some of the more traditional investors encouragement and fuel to enter into the space. So I think that we're in a really privileged position at the moment, and we're getting a front row seat on what is this rocket ship. And I think that in order to continue that, we need to really focus on what we need to do better, not just as a business, but as an industry. We need brilliant builders. We need brilliant developers. We need to ensure that we're serving the users and the next generation of users.
And actually, as Binance, as the leading exchange, whatever you do really affects the whole industry. So basically, can we say you're also shaping the future of crypto in some sense?
I think the founders of Binance, 7.5 years previous to that, when they set out on this journey and the commitments they made, they recognized that as the leader with the largest market share, with that recognition that's unparalleled, that they had a responsibility and an accountability to ensure that they were driving the industry forward in the right way. And I acknowledge that sometimes those were painful, painful challenges, and not always maybe what the community really wanted at that time. But I think that where we are at the moment and the commitment, that Binance has to regulation and ensuring that we grow this industry in a safe and secure way is what's going to set it on the right path. The commitment to innovation and how we continue to not just optimize
and always grow
and
evolve,
but the new products and services come, and then the commitment to the community. I think that comes through the accountability. But above all, a layer over that is the education piece.
Oh yeah,
how we continue to educate and scale that at a level that's also meets people where they are in their
You can see how much you care about education.
Yes.
As Binance, as your founder, as we listened yesterday, the speeches, I think it's one of the most divine things that a person or a corporation can do. I would like to hear about some hints about the upcoming Binance events, because we want to just go ahead and book our tickets.
I know.
As fast as possible. We know that BBV this year is also in Dubai, and we were just talking that the exact dates we should get our tickets from today or tomorrow. And we're just wondering, besides sides. Is there any next event hint that you can share with us?
Well, so Finance Blockchain Week has been confirmed. It's the first week of December.
First week of December. Oh, I thought it was November.
No,
okay.
First week of December. Yeah, first week of December. Maybe we can give a special link to you for your followers for like a special price, or some giveaway. That would be fun. But that will be the first week of December. So that's still in crypto world. That's still very far away, but the team are already planning it. So we're very excited about that. That's obviously our biggest global tentpole event.
And I guess it's again in the Coca-Cola.
We're going to do it in the Coca-Cola arena. We had very positive, I'd love to bring it back to Istanbul again, but we've had such incredible feedback about the UAE being that perfect hub for East and West. And everyone, so that was, we have to think, the practicalities
the logistics
there.
And everything.
I know.
No, I was so sad because I couldn't join in Istanbul, but I joined in Dubai, and that's where I live, Istanbul, actually.
Yeah, but my first event was Binance Blockchain Week in Istanbul, and it was incredible.
It was your first one?
My first big event
first
at
big
Binance.
Event, yeah.
I'd been to Istanbul a few times before, but it was incredible. And the community there, I think that's why so many of the global team as well as our local team have such a special place, because it was such an incredible experience.
Do you like
best food? Oh my goodness!
Food, yeah, I was just going to ask about that because we're Turkish KOLs. Do you like Istanbul?
Yeah. Well, it's the cradle of civilization, I would say. So it's incredible, and I was lucky enough to spend some time.
Full of history, right?
Full of history. Incredible. And just the sheer size. As someone from Ireland, which is such a tiny island, when you start learning more about Turkey and the depth and the history. It's fascinating.
And the food, right?
Food always the best. But we've got Binance Blockchain Week. Last year we ran over 1,500 events. I think this year we're going to get 2,000 events.
2,000 events.
Yeah. So for us, what's really important is, the global events are important, and we always try and make sure they're streamed online so that those who can't join, because we acknowledge it's not easy for people to drop everything and just fly somewhere, that we ensure that we're doing distributing our local events in the right way. So we've got some big super KOL events that are coming up in MENA and South Asia, which are more of one day events. Learning about new products and services, learning about what's next for the community. But we've lots of meetups that we're scaling at the moment. And for us, a meetup could be anything from 100 people to 500 people. And the goal of that, and why it's so important, and we do them in not just Istanbul, but we will do them all over the world and in cities, and not always the capital cities either. And the goal of that is to
we're basically distributing.
Yeah, we're a digital because we're a digital business, but we know that we're still operating in the financial world. A lot of people have a lot of questions, and that face-to-face opportunity to discuss, is the perfect time. So that's one of the reasons why we host so many in-person events on top of the offline events.
We'll fly anywhere.
But actually, call to you guys. Other events do you want to see from us? So I'd love to hear from.
That's what I love about you guys. You're always open to feedback, and I'm sure as a team also we would like to.
Can you tell us what we need to do next?
Yes,
so
of course.
We don't have to take
respectfully, you're already doing amazing events.
We can always do better. As I say to the team, it's what's the remaining?
You're amazing. Well, also we love your positive energy and your spirit. When you meet people face to face at such events as this, what kind of emotions and motivations rise within you?
I'm so privileged in the role I'm in the business I'm in the industry I'm in, and my family, my father particularly, always raised me to have a curiosity and an interest in others, because and I'm someone who doesn't learn through books. I learn through conversation and through interactions.
You're such a social person.
So, it's funny, I'm not a social, I'm a little bit of an introvert.
I think so. You look such an extrovert.
But I love what I love, and it's the reason why I enjoy this role so much is when I learn so much through the interactions that I have with our community. And I'm also really privileged that I get to meet so many different nationalities and hear so many different perspectives. So I think for me, it's really about curiosity from an emotional perspective. but also a pride to be part of this incredible movement and to be associated with. For a marketeer, I'm 20 years in marketing and media and entertainment, and to have this opportunity at this stage in my career and to be part of a technology that is disrupting not just the way we transact or trade, it's also potential to transact the way we live and work,
And has an amazing community.
Yeah, that's what's really special. That is the privilege. And I know so many CMOs of legacy brands that share with me how jealous they are of that opportunity and of the scope. And don't get me wrong, my team works incredibly hard, but I think that passion and that curiosity is what fuels
It just motivates us.
Exactly.
Sounds amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. I mean, you're such an inspiring person.
Oh, thank you.
And also we would like you to invite to, as you know, we do broadcasts and AMAs sometimes, to have more time to talk about community whenever you are free. Maybe perhaps with also Richard, you can join.
Yes.
Like a lot of Turkish people are curious about you.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for all of these amazing events and your contributions to this industry. We truly appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for everything you do, and looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Sounds great.